Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this Lycan pick's doing stuff for me right now. It's kind of tickling my fancy.
I mean, they can still Bloodseeker. It's not a bad Bloodseeker game. Didn't work out too well for them before, and they're still very much lacking a way to start these team fights. That's the big issue for MagMa, right? Remember when we saw them yesterday in that game number 3 against Elephant? And it looked like
Radiant
they had an
team
amazing
pick.
team fight, except that they just couldn't start anything that was happening against them. And so when you compare it to Team Aster, you have a zip in, you have a shapeshift, you know that you're going to need to rally around these towers to be able to defend them. So there's so many things that are going to force Team Magma to come
10
towards you.
seconds remaining.
Whereas on Team Aster, they're not really all that concerned. And now, even
5
if you do pick
seconds
one of those
remaining.
heroes that's going to start the team fight, that's going to get a pick off, you got a Shadow Demon for backup as well. So I feel like Aster have had a very balanced draft so far.
And this is what it feels like you need to go now with your, if you don't have the overall last pick in the draft, I really feel like you need more of a balanced draft overall just to make sure you don't get kind of forced into a trap where the enemy team has both the 18th and 24th pick. And I think we're both in agreement that those picks right now just seem super busted. Well, maybe not busted, but at least stronger than the opposition who has first pick. So feels like you really need to play around having an all-rounded draft just to make sure you don't have any holes that can be punished.
I think what Magma need to do now is just pick the strongest laners imaginable, because I feel like unless they're winning basically every single skirmish in the first 25 minutes, they're going to lose the game. Eventually, this Lycan's going to be too much to deal with. Shadow Demon, like I just mentioned, is going to be able to scale amazingly with picking up a Blink Dagger, picking up an Aghanim Scepter. Hell, he might even get a Lotus Orb, so you've got that extra layer of save for when a Silencer uses his global. And yeah, we don't even know what Aster's core is, or it could be a core Lycan, who knows?
Dire team ban.
Life Stealer.
Doesn't help with starting fights, unfortunately, this Lifestealer. And not amazing at super early skirmishes. Yeah, once you get the armlet, you're able to dish out a fair chunk of damage, but Lycan could just run away from you. Keeper of the Light could probably just run away from you, to be honest. Storm
10
Spirit could just run
seconds
away from
remaining.
you, so I'm not convinced.
They picked it into Shadow Demon too.
5
Like
seconds
Purge goes through
remaining.
BKB. I don't know how he hits anyone, but they have one
Yeah.
stun.
Radiant team dire team
Uh,
ban.
I don't know about you, but percentage keeps going up for us for me. Like those
the
stonks,
Stonks,
yeah, they're
they're
real
rising.
rising.
So this is, wait, what side is the right one?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
At,
Yeah.
how am I? Come
10
on, get my
seconds
finger right.
remaining.
It's
Let me-
confusing. I get it. Like I didn't even know how to help.
5
It's
seconds.
okay.
Arrow direction, Aster. Other direction, Magma. They need a Mars. They need a Mars for mine, right?
Radiant
Because
team ban.
Mazel tov.
something that's going to
Dire
be able
team
to lock
pick.
in a Lycan. Something that's going to be able to, if you're able to catch a Shadow Demon inside, sure, you'll be able to get your disruption, but after that, you've got some kill potential. I really want to see the Mars come out right now for Magma.
Yeah. It's oh, the only issue
10
is
seconds
that
remaining.
I feel like he's not the greatest left alone,
5
and we have
seconds
been seeing a lot
remaining.
of Earthshakers put a lot of emphasis on rotating because he's not the greatest laning stage hero. Can help out with the rotating to mid or even getting active and TPing maybe to the
They
safe
did
lane.
this to themselves,
Radiant
though.
team
Oh,
They
without a
put
doubt.
themselves in this position.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Now they've got a double range lane, but again, I don't think you can punish that. I 100% on board with the Mars.
choose your hero.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It's like it gives you a way to at least defend towers with Sandstorm. My only issue is that I feel like Aster will still just run over him even if he's in Sandstorm.
They're going to run over him if he's in Sandstorm. Thankfully, Necrobook doesn't exist anymore, but Dust does just as good of a job. The only real thing is, it's that hero that's a little bit more sustainable in lane when Mian does look to make the rotation towards the mid lane, but you don't often see a Sand King as the last pick when it's against two ranged, right? Like, that's a big part of his laning stage prowess just gone, because the Caustic Finale, you're not really all that concerned about it. You're going to be able to outrange it every single time. So I don't think there's going to be any kills happening towards that side of the map unless someone's seriously out of position. So it'll be the other lanes that I'm looking more towards. Probably mid lane. That's where I'm going to have the most of my focus on, at least in the first 5 or so minutes.
All right, so we all in on Aster?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure we're both in the same boat. What would you say the probability is now? What would you say the percentages? I said it. I asked a question when there was 3 picks in from either team. Now we've got the full draft. You got a little bit more of the story. What would you call it now?
85.
Yikes. Yeah, that's quite high. That's quite high. So, for their potential to bring themselves back in, what do they have to do? What do we have to keep our eyes out for?
For MagMa?
Yes.
Multiple kills on White Album Storm Spirit to start the game. SK's farm not being disrupted, being able to avoid the first use of the shapeshift, and build into a Blink Dagger early on the Earthshaker and the Sand King, and win the first 4 fights and use the snowball into towers.
Okay, so
it's a lot.
Yeah.
They need a lot.
They need a lot. We'll see if they can get that much out of it though, because again, Aster being really feels like unbeatable. I mean, they've only dropped 2 maps. They dropped one to IG and they dropped one to Vici. They're currently 8-2 at least map count, and series count they're 4-0. Like they could potentially not lose a series. I mean, they have to play versus. They've got 2 more series after this, I believe. No, one more. One more after
There's 7
this.
teams in the league, so
Yep. So one more. Their last series is later on today versus RNG. So there is a good possibility they just go flawless in the groups.
Is it actually? Is their last series today?
Yeah.
Huh, they don't play in the next couple of days. All right.
A little bit of rest time for the boys. Some more theory crafting as well. See what they extra time to play on the new patch.
They're gonna need it. I mean, there's this huge, as there always is within China, right? Like all these Chinese tournaments, it tends to be Aster at the top and a
30
clump of about
seconds
5
to
teams
battle.
in the middle. And with this tournament in particular, it's only the top 2 that go to the upper bracket. So Aster, I don't want to say they've completely secured that for themselves yet, but they're pretty damn close. And it's going to be a bloodbath going for that second spot, so that you've got the one extra step forward once we do get to the playoff bracket.
Again, MagMa don't have 2 of their heroes here for this fight if it does break out. Same with Aster. It's everyone's been so passive for these first bounty rune fights. I mean,
we saw game 1, there was a little bit of a skirmish, right? And well, it's 3 bounty runes as well going Aster's way. They don't have a weak level 1 lineup either on MagMa, so kind of surprising.
Danog, I don't just want skirmishes. I want killers. I want bloodbaths, 5-on-5s, like 4 heroes dying at the start. That's
Just play the all mid mode, you know?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. White Album's look at old Shadow Fiend. Just chuck out a triple raise, do pretty much all of your health. Very cool, very cool.
Presence of mind to make sure you're de-warding your small camp. Make sure to do it when the supports have moved all the way back to the lane.
White
Just
Album.
he's going
I
for
think
a kill.
he's.
Or
I still think he's. Oh my god. Jeez.
that's close though.
He didn't start with a stick.
He didn't, but you can understand that, right? And yeah, the TP coming through,
eternal gratitude.
just salving him up. Why not? And now the Shadow Fiend is going to have a little bit more difficulty securing those last hits, of course. Just getting the Necromastery at level 2. But he's still going to be able to build up the bottle. Or even just harassing him down while he's here.
No, please don't do this. I don't want to see dust. There's no way they kill him. There's no way they kill him. Oh my god. Please, I said it I think a couple of days ago. I do not want to see Jill mid's back and Cuddle
Go
is
for this.
Oh.
I don't think it's a dual bid. He was just there to be able to stop the kill attempt. Sorry, to refresh White Album a little bit with that salve. And while you're here, you may as well, right?
While you're here, you may as well just right-click him a couple times and almost kill him twice. Yeah, that's close enough. Like now,
what happened to you? Who did this to you, Ares?
It's just boring to watch as TZY just detection up from Aster. They just chunked him down through the sandstorm. Unfortunately for him, I've never had to verse a dual mid. That's nothing at all. But I feel like just as a viewing aspect and for entertainment, the viewers back home, do they want to watch a 2v2 mid?
2v2, yes. 1v2, that's a little. That just becomes like schoolyard bullying for mine.
Yeah. I mean, Dust felt it too. It's like I gotta kind of fight back here a little bit. You know, the old chat's not gonna push him away. Maybe just make him do it a little bit more. Who wins this man fight right now? Borox or Kaz? Glaive's pretty good to trade.
Level 1 Glaives. That's certainly interesting. I don't think he even had vision of that. Maybe the sound cue got him.
Well, even Mian looking to make his rotation early, so they left the Sand King solo at the moment. At least he did come back and place a sentry in Aster. They currently don't have another sentry to get lane control at the moment, so TZY should, at least every time he's got Sandstorm, get a wave. But yeah, once the sentries come out, and there is one and also a dust on the chorus, so it's going to get more difficult now with how he can play the lane.
Yeah, and he's building into this hood. Not sure how crazy I am about that, right? Like, it's going to prevent a lot of the Storm Spirit damage, but Lycan doesn't care, Clinks doesn't care, so you're not really going to be soaking up that much damage.
Clutter, what a hero.
White Album might be in a bit of trouble here, but that raindrops against a Shadow Fiend, I love the item.
Value. Very, very value. It's got some stacks at the small as well. Unfortunately doesn't have the bounty still to play with, but is there still I was going to say there's a water in bug on the map. I'm like, hang on, there's no chance there's a water in still bot. What's going on? Shadow...
They're trying to make a kill here onto the Shadow Demon.
Not a lot of damage early from an 8. What we were saying yesterday, right? I think you were the one that said it, that the silencer is... Oh, Kaz should fall. Nice body blocks from XXS. Man, this player can do it all.
Okay. Team fight, micro, everything that you could possibly want. What was that about the silencer?
So I think because we casted a Eurus Clinks yesterday, I think, and you were saying it feels like one way to deal with him is kind of just bully him out of the lane because of how like greedy we often see the Clinks' itemization. You know, have you still kind of are on that same mentality?
A little bit, yeah, but this time around, Monet, he didn't just go straight Falcon Blade into the Maelstrom. They're probably going to be able to get a kill onto the SD, and well, that is one of the bonuses of going the Glaives of Wisdom. Now he's already stolen 2 intelligence away from the Shadow Demon, but yeah, Monet, he's not just going straight damage items. He's at least having a tiny bit of survivability in lane now with the Power Treads and the Magic Wand.
Dust is going to be careful. They're about to hit 6 on White Album. It looks like he wants to go instantly with the 6 picked up. A dragging back. Dust himself is actually going for a very early level in the Requiem, and beautiful rotation has the answer to cancel the ultimate there from the Shadow Fiend.
Also just shoving out the wave while you've got the siege creep here. Why not? Just get that hitting into the tower. He's got a little bit of a mind of his own though. Might have started soaking up some of the tower damage, but not going to be the case. Even able to take away... good rotations coming through from the supports there from MagMa, taking away both the bounty rune and the regen rune. But I think you're still pretty happy with how this early game's gone from Aster. They've already failed, I'd say, a couple of the conditions right now of what I had for a MagMa win.
I'd help him. He touched the fissure. This man's an incredible player. He's just outperforming game after game. They get another kill, Mian. I just cannot sing enough praises. I mean, everyone has been getting the treat to watch this team perform through the DPC. Of course, their online tournaments have been on another level, and again, it's continuing at the moment through the group stages right now. Like, everyone are making so many beautiful individual plays.
Yeah, for sure. White Album help. They just do all the small things, right? You know, they're in the region around 50 seconds. They'll stack, they'll farm up, and it's at the 7-minute mark as well. So White Album might be able to, once he finishes this up, if he decides to go back to base, buy a TP, come out to a lane with a surprise neutral item. I mean, an extra 200 mana never hurts if he's able to pick up that Tumbler's toy and then go for a kill.
Go. See, we got the Keen Optic as well. So, wait, what's he want to hold? He dropped both of them.
I think he's just letting everyone else pick up something if they want, and then I think there was a little bit of jungling. No, never mind. I would definitely keep the Tumbler's toy if I was the Storm Spirit for this early kill attempt. I think he's got the Keen Optic still.
Well, we have even the Helm Dom completed on XXS. So if they want to try and take an early tower here from Team Aster, all eyes on where White Album wants to go with the TP, and it's up top. So you have detection. Well, in fact, they've got a sentry drop. It's able to set up here for the barrage on Monate. And that's plenty of damage to kill off TZY. Just their 5th kill of the game, and another great start to the lanes. They might get a rebuttal. Borax. All pretty low. Is he going to tick out? He will. Kaz +2 intel.
Arcane Ring going to be nice for Dust. Just enables a little bit more of that spamming style with the razors, of course. Wants to keep those lanes shoved in as much as possible. But yeah, already 8.5 minutes in. 2k net worth lead going Aster's way. I mean, we haven't been paying attention at all to this lifestealer on the bottom side of the map, but XXS, he's having a great time. Already finished up the Helm of the Dominator, building into that Helm of the Overlord, and now the tower damage is going to start as well because you forced the Silencer to come up to try and salvage some of these other lanes.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to get to the stage where they'll probably just have to give up some of these towers here. I mean, Lifestealer can't even stand his ground, and Manfight XXS right now is top. Another attempt to kill off the Sand King. This time he does have at least Kaz nearby, which will be the deterrent to force away the Storm Spirit there.
They're just chasing down this Lifestealer. What can you really do? In a couple of seconds, he'll at least have the Infest to be able to, you know, take one of those creeps away and...
He didn't get the Helm Dom.
But he didn't get the Helm Dom, and it was a wolf that was about to despawn anyway, so a little bit unfortunate there for Lifestealer. And I mean, you can't contest into this. You're already losing by about 20 damage just because of the good farm that XXS has early on. He now has 3 points in the Feral Impulse, so an extra 6 HP regen. You've got nothing that's going to be able to push this out. Earthshaker can't do it. Silencer can't do it. So Sand King's going to need to park himself wherever the Lycan's trying to push.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
you're spot on there. I want to see the Sand King out of that lane and wherever the Lycan is consistently. Yeah, he's probably just going to look to go mid. And this could be an incredible timing on the Helm of the Overlord as well. I think we saw 16 minutes on our first Overlord that we saw, because we've only seen one so far through the groups, but XXS is on a pace to get that pre-16 minutes.
I know it's not a great item, like, for the large scale, but I feel like for this game in particular, again, I just want to state it, the Hood I don't like on TZY. I feel like something like a Vanguard might have been good, just because of what his role is going to be going up against this Lycan and all of his units in the very near future.
It feels like you're gonna have to be the hero just to tank up and act as the bodyguard, because you need somehow to make space for the Earthshaker. Again, a hero that really relies on Blink.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Shadow
attack.
Fiend, he's even gone Boots of Travel as his first item here on Dust. So I guess, what do you feel like the Boots of Travel is really going to offer Shadow Fiend? Is he maybe thinking that he needs to be the lane shover, or?
I mean, there's a bit of that. You're against a Keeper of the Light and a Lycan, right? So the lanes are always going to be in Aster's favor just by nature of how quickly they're able to change things up. But I mean, he just wants to be able to farm away and join team fights as quickly as possible. You know, eventually you're going to reach that point where an Earthshaker and a Sand King both have their Blink Dagger. They're going to try and turn team fights around in that way. Haven't reached that point yet, with, of course, a 3k net worth disadvantage that they're at right now. But yeah, you just need to try and maximize the efficiency that you're getting throughout the map. He's trying to even steal away a couple of creeps here from White Album. He does. So that's going to be nice. And he's a little bit ahead on the experience front as well. But still, his teamfight effectiveness is not there. He needs that Blink Dagger. He needs to get in. And probably the one thing that they are lacking a little bit on Aster right now is stun. They only have the Disruption, and they only have the Electric Vortex.
Radiant's top tower
Klinkz is
under
actually a crazy
attack.
hero. I cannot continue to stress enough that him actually having a way to find farm and actually kill Ancients is probably why we're going to see him back in the meta. Like, this is... What is this?
This is like TA level stuff.
Like,
that you see,
what?
you know?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
What a hero, man. I'm really surprised we haven't seen it as much as what it's been getting picked up. I think I've heard a little bit of talk about it over in ESL. I haven't seen those games as much myself, though, but... like, how crazy. Top of the net worth. He's going Dragonlance next as well. He's going to be a real hard force to kill.
And again, it's this Dragonlance style where you can just disassemble it and build it into a BKB if you need. I mean, they're going to get to that point. It'll probably synergize fairly well with some of these key timings that MagMa have, right? Where your stun combinations coming through from the Sand King, Earthshaker, the Global Silence. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him do exactly that. Actually, yep, well, he cues it straight up after finishing the Dragonlance. Why not? It's just a good transitioning item.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
200 gold away, Ares.
Oh, Blenheim.
Helm of the Overlord.
Oh, they'll get a pick off. TZY even thinking about charging up the FP in case there's any answers. They'll show Monet, but as soon as they stun him up, they look to reset the positioning. And how long did you say? 200 gold? No, even less now from that time as XXS. This creep wave should be enough, and here comes...
So 5 seconds. What ancient creeper is going to spawn?
It's dope. Here comes the OS frog.
It's just the ancient granite golem. At least it's not the dragon. You know, there's... It just feels like you can't do anything against the dragon at 14 minutes.
Top lane. Global out. Echo Slam was used as well. That's enough
right.
with the rotation on Dust to kill off White Album. Can they catch up to Borax, however? Incredibly mobile. He's actually just going to go for a straight up TP, but TZY has got the answer there. So MagMa finding 2 kills might cost them their objectives now afterwards with the Echo and Global on cooldown.
Oh, I think it's much more than a might. You know, this early on, that's the downside of having these heroes. They do scale quite well to the late stages of the game, but you know, early on, you're not able to do all that much against it, and that's why MagMa, they're putting so much priority on taking an objective while they can, while these heroes are still on the sidelines. But with this mid lane, White Album respawns straight in.
They'll kill off Kaz, and meanwhile, Monet, he's just chunking down the lifestealer. Like, he can't right-click anyone. Who are you going to try and kill? XXS? Monet? I mean, he'll get off the Shadow Demon, but that costs you your life there.
Yep. And that Granite Golem, I mean, he's just wandering around. It's just going to be another Granite Golem inside the Ancient Camp, but
oh no.
Some Thunder Hides might be pretty useful.
Yeah, let's keep racking up the kills so we can't get the Earthshaker. Let's just jump Dust instead. At least get the Requiem off. White Album dodged
again.
it, but he did use all his mana, so look cute. Now he's just going to make a trip all the way back to base.
He dodged the Fisher and the Requiem. I mean, that's the sort of gameplay that you're having to contend against if you're MagMa, right? And which is... Ooh.
The creep. It's blocked. Wait.
No, Rocky.
Okay. The Rocky, well, it was a sacrifice as the respawn was from the Troll Summoner. You know, didn't have the reincarnation of a better Rocky, unfortunately.
That's alright, he can get another one in 20 seconds. Very balanced.
And even stop the gold. That's what we're looking for. Just cutting off anything of MagMa of an opportunity to bring them back into this game. Another global this time. Used to try and protect the Shadow Fiend. TZY along with Mian. Mian's going to jump Blenheim at the moment. They're able to bring him down, but now what more can they get out of it? As White Album, a zip to safety. A 1-for-1 on both supports here. If they kite the fight far enough here, Monet just might be able to deal with the backline, and that's TZY. A Maelstrom proc will bring him down from full, and guess who's already got an Orchid? It's your position 4 Coddle, as Aster find 4 and lead this into the Roche Pit.
Yeah, he's already got the Orchid, he has the Tumbler's Joy just for that little bit of extra space, and with the Spirit Form, you're just able to kite out a Lifestealer, not even needing the Solar Bind to be able to run away from him, so... Yeah, just a pretty broken draft that Aster were able to get away with. Kind of surprised that they keep letting him do it. Like, have we seen the Clockwork been played yet? Because I don't think it's, like, the level of busted that these teams are putting priority into. At least, like, try playing against it, you know?
Okay, he's gonna run into 2 and instantly pop the BKB, but he's got the goons! Like, Aster are always there to protect anyone who gets jumped. They won't keep TZY alive, but he's probably grinning right now with, you know, sacrificing his life for picking up 3, maybe kills. Yeah, XXS should still be able to chase him down. One Wolf White will claim it. Oh, maybe Kaz too? He wants another support. This is your issue. You cannot open up with those 2 supports when Lycan is pretty broken right now.
Yep, Lycan's in the pool, Lycan's broken, and that 85%, I was honestly considering a 90, but I thought, you know what, let's give him a chance so that if MagMa were able to pull it off. I don't look like it. No, honestly, it wasn't me being kind, it was me protecting myself a little bit.
You gotta go all in. You gotta make those outlandish claims.
True. That's how Kyle has a job.
Yep, that's, everyone loves it. You gotta follow that mentality. Oh, XXS? Got the Infest Bomb here. They might have to drop Echo for this kill, or maybe with Dust getting involved. But they've really cost their positioning here in the low ground as they'll target down Dust. Meanwhile, off to the secret shop, Monet, he can just pop the BKB and do the dirty work, killing off the Earthshaker. He's got to be cautious now because Sanking's got to follow up Monet. Can he get out of the range of the Sandstorm? And he can. Beautifully played from Borax here, that Blinding Light pushing them further away. Now he's got a decent amount of health to come back into thanks to the use of the ultimate, so he's going to try and play out with the Burning Barrage, but no way to cancel the TP.
He nearly ended up griefing himself there. He was walking inside the neutral camp spawn box, hoping for that hard camp to be able to use for the Death Pact and a little bit more mana and HP. Ends up only taking one of the small creeps, but it was enough to ensure his survival.
This is, so, besides the kind of draft issues, it is a little bit regarding to the draft, but I'm intrigued. This is twice now we've seen MagMa go for the Shadow Fiend to try and answer the Storm. Have you been fans of it? Do you think they're like in a right path with how they identify maybe the Shadow Fiend can deal with it? As, hold on a second.
Oh, he's
Storm Spirit's used all his mana. I mean, he's still got Aegis though. Yeah, for another 2 minutes here. So they're using a lot of abilities just to deal with the first life. And now with Aster swinging on over, they're going to make sure he doesn't die a second time. But the Bloodstone active, look how survivable he is. Land him a banishment from afar, and now they can turn it back around with nothing left in the tank. They've kited the Lifestealer, and now the rest of MagMa have to try and get out of dodge. Unfortunately for Kaz, is there an escape in the Ghost Scepter TP? There is. There's no answer.
I want to see if anyone starts queuing up a nullifier immediately, just being like, you think you can get away from me? No, no, no. I think the Shadow Fiend pick is fine for how the laning stage went. You saw how close he was to being able to get some pickoffs onto White Album, right? But for me, even though they've got this Sand King and the Earthshaker, they're still lacking some reliable lockdown for mine to be able to get off the full Requiem. Like, the Lifestealer doesn't do enough for mine. I feel like you need something else on top of that, or... You know, I'm just a Pangolier fan, but maybe a Pango to just keep people locked in place, or I don't know, just something else. Something else.
I think it's got to be said, like, this Earthshaker is... We've really only seen one good game on the Earthshaker. It's showing how greedy this hero is. Instead, why not pick up a Coddle, who can be only 1,000 gold behind your position 1, as... They have shot the Lycan, but again, well, guess who's nearby? It's your support Shadow Demon, which can just instantly banish to protect you. And now how you were looking to start the fight with a pick-off advantage puts you in a peculiar position where you have to sound the retreat.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, anything can work, right? We've seen Pudge's work from that position 4 role, and that was because they had the setup for it.
Radiant's
You know, you
middle
had,
tower
for
has
example,
fallen.
Storm Spirit with Electric Vortex. You had a Wind Ranger with Shackle Shot. You had all of these different abilities that allowed you to get an easy hook off, so it made sense. This does not make so much sense, because I don't think we've seen a single like proper Requiem go off that's actually connected in onto a target that's then been burst down afterwards.
Guess what? More way to enable the storm. He's got an arcane, and he's got some targets he's looking to jump as well.
Well, Dust is looking to put matters into his own hands. He's finished up his arcane blink. He's going to try and get that 100 to 0 burst.
Dude, storm with arcane.
They got to try and bait this out a little bit. I mean, Aster, I wonder if their spidey senses are tingling a little bit because they're not going to go straight up onto the high ground. I thought maybe if they committed as 5 and you had a buyback come through from the Sand King, you could have a team wipe to turn things around, but it's a 17k net worth lead. It's a lot to come back from.
Maybe they might not be ready for this defense. They're going to try and lead in. The reveal of the arcane blink. Is that enough to burst through the lack? And they have to commit another... Oh, XXS? Wow, let him just a little bit too late to get the banishment to keep him alive, but what's the price to pay though? As they're all answering with the TPs out. Shadow Theme won't be successful. Lifesteal is going to join him in the grave as well, and they're not even done just yet as the Earthshaker falls in the western tree line. TZY is going to try and put matters in his own hands here with the epicenter, but the burst, it's not enough, and we might even just see them tap out.
Radiant's top tower
I think
has
you
fallen.
have to at this point. 19k net worth lead. Sure, I'm sure they don't realize that it's at
Yeah.
that point just yet. Maybe they do, because it's a 23 and a half minute GG being called. They just didn't have the setup. Like, they do have good team fight. It's just getting to that point and having such a big weakness against the likes of the Lycan in the early game, and then of course the Shadow Demon. I think that was a perfect pickup coming through from Aster, just to be able to stop the few decent initiation attempts that they had.
Wow. I mean, Aster just continuing to impress overall. Now, in 5 series, they've only dropped 2 maps. They've got one more series later tonight to potentially go flawless through the group stages here for the I-League Season 2. But they are just, they're clicking on all cylinders right now, and what better of a time?
Exactly. I can't expect much more from them. I mean, they're the team that just knows the Chinese men are the best out of every single other person, and so keen to see how they're going in the 3rd series of the day after what was a very clinical start. We do have a series in between though, with Aster Ares, their little brother team, taking on Vici Gaming, who have had a pretty decent record so far. They're 2-1. Their only lost series, I believe, give a quick look, was against Aster, right? And
Yep.
was that a 2-1?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so they're still looking fairly strong in their own right, and that was that crazy game that went to nearly 73 minutes that ended up deciding things with, you know, multiple rapiers on the deck and all sorts of crazy shenanigans.
Well, what a...
We don't know how long the wait's going to be though. That's
yes.
the caveat behind all of
That's
this.
the big question mark there. Hopefully it's not starting on the scheduled start time, which if it is, then means we're going to have about an hour break. I will keep you guys updated though with how that one is faring at the moment. Hopefully maybe half an hour. I'm hoping, but we don't know just yet. So regardless, Team Aster, a clinical first series done and dusted of the day, as they're going to be able to 2-0 MagMa. We will still see them later on in the night to close out their last group stage match, which will be against RNG, but that's still later in the night. Next series of the day, it'll be Vici Gaming versus Aster Ares. Remember guys, a bit of a break. We'll see you then.